Last night I went on a giant. I stole the fire truck.
Of course.
The fire people pissed me off the other night, so I was paying them back. I drove it into the Alamo Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to swim away and hide, and then I've got a dirt bike. They chased me around on a dirt bike for like 20 minutes. I got away, and then I parked it at the the 7-Eleven store, the 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretended I was a clerk at the counter, and they came in and questioned me, and they're like, "We saw you right on the bike." I'm like, "No, I've been here the whole time."
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Bud Robinson, except for those few times. And this is the honorable, venerable town historian.
Peace up, bitches.
What's up?
Peace up, bitches. That's my new intro.
Peace up,
bitches.
I like it, like this.
I know what the fuck it means. Where are we starting today, bud? We're going to talk about Rampage, then Dynamite, or Dynamite, then Rampage?
So Grand Slam just happened, but I thought we could take just a few minutes to talk about something that the WWE planned or is doing right now. I didn't bring this up to you, and I don't know if you know that it's happening, but I've seen several videos of the WWE is playing
White Rabbit
in the stadiums. So the obvious conclusion that fans are coming to is that this is Bray Wyatt. Which I don't understand, but I think it's just because I don't understand his lore. Like he has a complex mind, and I don't know all about it. Is that what you think? Do you think it's Bray?
Oh yeah. I think of all the free agents there's a weird amount of free agents right now.
Mm-hmm.
There really is. There's a lot of guys that can sign to make a big thing. I think that's the needle mover. The problem is that AEW really can't use him.
No.
And he just wouldn't fit with what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is disappointing because there was a point where I was like, he needs to go there. But then at the same time, it's like if you really stop. And there was a moment where we wanted everybody to go to AEW.
Yeah.
Just because everybody was like, but then it's like, okay, well, Daniel Bryan went to AEW. Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Swerve went there, and Keith Lee went there, and you know, Adam Cole went there, and like those people all make sense. But like Bray Wyatt, it's like, well, no, hold on. Bray Wyatt is all about. He's all about the show and the Star Biz piece of it, and the the bigger than life character, and that's not AEW.
That's like totally WWE.
That's where he belongs.
I had thought that like if you look at, let's say, Kenny Omega or right, the Bucks to a certain extent. No, the Bucks, Cody, these guys who came up, they didn't come up, but like were able to make a living jumping around on the indies. And now we have all of these, like I look at Matt Cardona and I look at Matt Cardona and I'm like, what if Bray did that? Like, what if Bray just jumped around to different, and like he could make his own schedule? He won't do that because I think that, number one, I think he is an E guy, and number two, I think that he probably works better when he doesn't have to worry about the business side. And Matt Cardona definitely has to worry about the business side.
I think there's so much production with what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs that support, and he needs that platform. And jumping indie to indie would not give him that platform.
That's true. Yeah.
Like if he went to a GCW show, he couldn't really do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, the other piece of this that I really thought about is he put so much work into Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was not going to go back to the E, he couldn't be Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean?
Is that them?
Yeah, they own that.
Yeah,
they
that's
own
true.
The Bray Wyatt name.
Yeah.
You know, he was going to go by Wyndham something or other because his name is Wyndham Rotundo. But yeah, I just look at that and I think there's two things to it. I think it's very clear it's Bray, and I think whatever they're going to do is going to be big because Triple H isn't fucking around.
No,
they're doing shit.
Yeah,
they're doing some really good shit, like to the point where I'm about ready to watch. Not Raw necessarily because Raw's going to be way too long, but and the other thing I think is that for the first time in a long time, they're doing something that is like people are excited.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like putting flyers on cars and shit. Like they're going all out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is what you need. This is what you haven't had in 15 years. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great. And I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I would agree. Obvious. Yeah, I'm happy that he's going to find a home. It sort of seems like Bobby Fish is going to go as well. We'll see.
No, he's an Impact now. He is.
Oh, is he?
He had a little heat. He went to Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
And told him to leave AEW and go back to the WWE, and Adam Cole told on him. That's why he didn't get re-signed.
Oh, I did not know that part.
Yeah, and it's like, I have a lot of concern with those two and what the fuck they're gonna do with them.
Yeah.
Because they lost that, like, the feud they had to come back to would have been the 3-way.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost Bobby Fish. Do you just replace him with somebody else? Is there somebody else you can slide into that role? I'm sure there is.
You could.
Hangman?
Hangman would fit. Yeah. It'd be a nice swerve, too.
You'd have to turn him heel. But,
mm-hmm.
I guess the other piece of news is that everybody's saying that Punk's going to get his contract bought out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if that... We're so far away from that now, and I've had a lot more time to process that, just like you have.
Mm-hmm.
And Town the Booker says we can make money off of this.
That's the thing. That's the thing right there. Like, the two things that Punk said multiple times over the 2 or 3 years before he actually returned was, I will not go back unless it's for a boatload of money. And the story's got to be interesting. You could make big money off of this bit. And I want to talk about that later in the podcast, because I'll just talk about it now. Like, when at Rampage, I think it was Rampage, Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston had a match. And I think what happened with them is almost exactly what happened with the Bucks and Omega and Punk. Like, situationally, not from like like what actually happened. And I think Eddie Kingston, being the troll that he can sometimes be, just being the guy that he is, I think that he was like, Sammy, let's show these guys that this is what you should do with this situation. Because that was the line that Guevara said was the exact line that got Kingston to like get pissed.
Yeah.
And so now they're just using it.
It's interesting because as much as like Eddie Kingston is an unhinged fucking lunatic.
Yes.
Because he is. And like, you don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to respond. Somehow, he's super fucking professional.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make any sense to me.
He's smart. Like,
oh yeah.
I think it's just a matter of like, he has been in the business for so long, and he knows. This might be Brody King. It might be Eddie Kingston. I don't remember. But one of those two said the business doesn't owe you anything, and he gets that better than maybe even Punk does. And like,
Punk's so interesting.
He's just like, yeah, I don't have to like Sammy Guevara. The list of people that Eddie Kingston does not like is miles long, but he works with them because he knows he can make money, and he knows that that's what he has to do.
He also understands that we know he doesn't like those people, and that story that gets told when he's working with them is insanely huge. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Punk, I think, is a guy who's been. I think he's just kind of a crabby guy.
Yeah,
he's prickly. He's a prickly guy and always has been. And I think he really liked ROH when he was there, and I think he liked what he was doing in ROH. But I think he wanted to make money, which I don't blame him. And he went to a place where he knew they weren't going to know what the fuck to do with me. And he went there and he tried to be positive, and then he got pissed and he got beaten down, and he got crabby. And when he got crabby, he suddenly made a shitload of money because crabby punk draws.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it really, really does. And then he came back to AEW, and he was not that first year he was back or before he got hurt with his foot. He was like a happy guy, and he was willing to do whatever, and it was positive. And then he came back, he got hurt, and he came back, and it was like, here's crabby Punk.
Mm-hmm.
and we kept saying he needed to turn heel. He was fucking crabby.
Yeah.
So I think if you brought Omega and the Young Bucks back and brought them back to kind of like a hero's welcome,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Punk come back as a fucking heel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ooh.
It would be, yeah.
Unhinged Punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you got to sit down with those guys, got to have a conversation. I mean, most of the time in life when guys get pissed at each other and end up punching each other, usually you beat the shit out of each other and it's out of your system and you can have a conversation and move on with your day.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily know if Punk fits that mold necessarily.
I think the Elite do. Yeah.
Yeah,
They want to do business, but you're right. I think Punk.
That feels like an Undertaker line. Go outside and fight, then come back and be done with it. That's something the Undertaker would say.
It does, yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, I think that is. I think that's money. I think they need to really focus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I think that's what Tony Khan's gonna try to do.
We'll see. You know.
I don't know why you would buy out CM Punk's contract and pay him for nothing. I mean, he's the biggest fucking heel in that company right now.
Yeah, maybe. No, MJF is bigger.
Yeah,
to be fair, he is currently a babyface, but it would take 20 minutes to turn him heel.
Well, he can get heel heat, but then when he comes back out, we still cheer for him because he's fucking amazing. Like I think we'll talk about him in a moment. Let's start our thing before we start talking about random shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna just run through the card and we'll talk about it.
Let's do it.
I don't have the card in front of me. I'm not gonna get it either.
I no worries. I got it. Do we want to do? So I thought we could do Rampage first because I sort of felt like Rampage was going to be bigger in it, and it just wasn't. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like because Dynamite was 5 title matches, like
hard to follow. Yeah, I don't care where you're going to start. Okay. That's fine.
So we started Rampage with House of Black versus Sting and Darby Allin. One of my favorite lines from the this has nothing to do with the match, but one of my favorite lines from the commentary was Chris Jericho saying, "I'm full of honor."
So I'm not gonna lie, I half watched this show.
Okay.
I was doing other shit at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
This match was okay. It didn't really. I don't know. Apparently, Buddy Murphy's now taking a break.
Oh, is he?
Which means it's just Brody King.
I mean, that could work.
I'll tell you what. If you put Brody King with Julia Hart,
mm-hmm.
I think I like it.
Yeah.
I think they need to rethink him a little bit and hurdle just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
They need to kind of change up what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Malachi, it doesn't really hurt as much as I love Malachi because he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean that's true that he wasn't really doing anything because he was unhappy, and so I think House of Black started to stale. But I think that he was such a focal point to the House of Black that it's gonna be difficult for them to find that same focus with those two, because they had Brody King sort of as like I don't want to say a henchman, but like he was second fiddle. He was the right hand. And to you can't really scoot him organically over into the leading point, you know?
It's interesting because I feel like there's some people that get hired by AEW and the plan for them is to come in and to work with somebody else and then they don't think past it. I felt that way with Ruby Riott and I feel that way with Malachi Black.
Yeah.
Malachi came in solely for Cody.
Yeah.
And when Cody beat him, never should have happened. They never should have had Cody beat Malachi.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Like nobody gave a shit. It was just like, ooh, this sucks. And the same thing with Ruby. They brought her in. She got this huge pop. She won that match. She put over Britt Baker, and it was like, cool. So you're here now. Grab a drink. Relax.
Catering's over there. Yeah. She's frustrating. She's frustrating
right now.
Yeah, that's true.
She's hurt. they have so much talent, and it's weird
Mm-hmm.
the way they use the talent sometimes. And that's how I felt about Malachi. This match itself was. I'm worried about Darby Allin because I think Darby Allin's gonna get stale, and I think he's starting to.
I think he's starting to as well.
Because
He's in this match. He was reminding me a lot of Shano.
He's very good and he's
Mhm.
very awesome, but like he's the insane underdog who jumps off shit and has a coffin, and then he has these casket matches, and it's just like, okay, I don't know. Like he should be doing more. The Great Muda coming out was fucking sweet.
That was I was gonna point that out. Like,
But it was just like, but it was like, it kind of felt like your grandpa and his buddy who haven't seen each other in 5 years, like meeting up.
which is cool.
You know? Yeah, it was great. Like I
I mean-
love the Great Muda and Sting in like '89. I remember watching that video. I got it from Pot of Gold Video, which used to be over on Grand Ave, and I got like WCW Wrestle War or some shit '89, and those two had a match. And I remember being a kid, like, holy fuck, this is amazing.
Mhm.
So that was cool. It was nostalgic. But again, I think it's time to do something with Darby. I think Darby needs a change. I think Darby needs to go heel.
So I had two thoughts, and I feel like maybe they're teasing both of these things. So maybe it was just a coincidence, but it looked like, because they had pointed out that this is Muda's last year, and so I wonder.
Sting's going to be involved in his last match.
Okay,
He's going to Japan for it. That I read.
so there you go. So that wasn't a tease. They're legitimately doing that. I do wonder if they were teasing. So in the entrance, they snuck up behind the House of Black, and I wonder if they're teasing Darby or Darby and Sting taking over the House of Black, because I think that could be really cool. I think it would be a fit,
My
but
issue right now
the
is
thing would be different.
you cannot turn Sting heel
No, that's true.
because I refuse to boo Sting. Won't do it. Neither will you. Neither will anybody else. It's fucking Sting.
Would he? I can't even think of a time when he's been heel successfully.
He was heel in WCW in like 2000. But
Okay.
again, WCW in 2000, that phrase there alone should explain why that's a stupid comment.
Yeah,
But could Darby join the House of Black and turn on Sting?
I could totally see
But
that.
but the problem is right now the reason that Darby and Sting work is because Darby's a workhorse.
Mhm.
Sting gets to come in and do his spots.
Yeah,
So what's the payoff? You can't really have Sting and Darby have a match because it would have to be.
that's a good question.
It'd have to be a cinematic.
I mean,
It'd have to be somewhere you would really protect Sting.
you could have Sting. You could have Sting like come back with a stable or something. You know, like what he did in WCW, where he sort of disappears for a while, and then comes back with a stable of some kind to fight the House of Black.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to do something. They got to get, because those two are just.
Yeah,
I'm Darby Allin. I have a skateboard. This is my old friend.
and I worry about the House of
This is my-
Black too.
This is my weird old friend Sting. He follows me around. We hang out.
Oh my God,
He's old enough to be my grandfather.
I don't remember if it was this week or last week, but I was watching, and Sting, like, they zoomed in and you could see Sting, like, you could see his eyebrows, his like old man eyebrows like sticking out. Creeped me out. I was like, please fix those. I think he was facing off against Malachi. I was like, fix your eyebrows, man.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I do think Brody King, if used right, they don't book monsters well though either. Because look at Lance Archer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Lance Archer is kind of because you look at Hobbs, you look at Wardlow, you look at I mean, and those are different kind of monsters, but
Yeah.
you look at big guys like that, and I think they have gotten better. And I wonder if Lance Archer is just a product of we fucked it up in the beginning, and it's difficult to fix that.
I think so. But you got to get Brody King some traction somehow.
Mm-hmm.
What was next?
JAS, Menard and Parker versus Action Bronson and Hook. And I thought I was going to hate this match.
I know.
Not hate it. I thought it, like, I thought it was just going to be like Hook fighting the other two, but it mostly was. But seeing Action Bronson in the ring, he wasn't bad. Like, he did pretty good for his first match.
Anything big that those two idiots for the JAS are involved with is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And everything Hook touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
Like, Hook is... And they're moving them along slowly, and they're being smart with them. I don't know where they're going with them, but... And I thought this was fine. I thought it was good. I thought it was fun.
It was quick. It was fun.
Action Bronson looked fine, and it served its purpose. This was one I don't wonder. This is one I feel like just like with Sting. Sometimes I know why they put Sting on Rampage, because if Sting's going to be on a live show, if he's he's old, if something gets fucked up, shit, we can't edit it. But if it's on a tape show, we can edit that out.
Yeah.
And I'm almost not wondering if that's what they did it with Action Bronson. But for everything I've read and seen, he did pretty good. So
yeah.
And next was
Jungle Boy. No. Match 3 was Ward Joe versus Josh Woods and Tony Nese, which was good.
It was a match.
It was a match.
I don't know.
I couldn't even really tell if this was a tornado tag, because I don't remember any like tags, actual tags, and it was quick.
My level of interest in this match was not very high.
What are they doing with Tony Nese?
I don't know.
Because they brought him in. He's this premier athlete and awesome. And, like, all of his matches are super quick. He gets his ass kicked constantly. I don't know what his record is. Maybe he gets a lot of wins on Dark and Elevation and shit.
He does. Like, I think that's what they do. They build him up on Dark, and then they...
And then they crush him on TV.
The problem with Tony Nese is that he doesn't have that, like, X-Factor charisma.
He's sort of one-dimensional. Yeah.
He's a very talented worker, and it's just like, but how do you push that guy?
He sort of reminds me of Bowens in NXT.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
I don't know. This match was... It's Wardlow. Yeah. And Wardlow beats the fucking shit out of everybody. Which is good, because it's what they need to do. But they need to start elevating the level of guys he beats the shit out of.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like he's the TNT champion, but he's fighting... fucking Tony Nese? Okay.
And Josh Woods? What was his name?
Yeah,
Josh Woods.
It was fine. Like, I watched him fight Samoa Joe, and I'm like, this is fine. But, I don't know. It's hard to... When there's such a, like, advanced difference in the levels of those two teams. Like, one team is, like, a top-level guy in Samoa Joe, and a guy who's clearly being pushed to be a top guy. Against... freaking frack, like, okay, I get it. It's just, it just wasn't.
It was fine. I enjoyed seeing Sterling get his comeuppance.
And that's really, I think that all this match was about. We got to get Joe on the show, and Sterling needs to get powerbomb. So
yeah, and
Sterling
we did both of those things.
Sterling needs to get a client that's actually functional, and then go after Wardlow. But
yes, yeah. So next was Jungle Boy versus Ray Phoenix. This was an awesome match. Like, I enjoyed Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy is the guy.
The thing that I loved most about this match was that those two guys are known for high flying, but it wasn't just high flying. They did brawling, they did high flying, they did technical shit. So, like, it wasn't like...
I remember watching the first ever AEW show I watched was, God, what the fuck was it? It was the one where Moxley debuted. So it was like it was actually the first one. It was the first show, the first pay-per-view. I got it. And I remember Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus were on there. And then the second show, which was the Fight for the Fallen in Jacksonville, and it was it was free. You could watch it on, I think it was Fight TV. And I remember watching Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I don't remember who they fought. But I remember watching that match, and I'm like, Luchasaurus is really fucking good. Like, he's big, he can move, he can do stuff. And Jungle Boy can fly around, but holy shit, is this kid green. He does not know anything.
Yeah.
And now here I sit today, and I'm like, dude, this fucking guy can brawl. This guy can go technical. This guy can do everything. And he's starting to be able to cut a promo.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience gets behind him, and it's like, this is the fucking guy.
Yes. Yeah.
And Tony Khan from day one, this has been his guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have said to you, I don't even know how many times on this podcast, when that fucker wins the championship, that's the moment. That's the moment of AEW to me.
Yes.
That's going to be the moment that they've been building for since day one.
It's true. Yeah.
And this was a great match. And then the Heat with Lucha at the end coming out. They'll fight at the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think Jungle Boy's going to win. I think he has to.
Sure. I mean, maybe.
Depending.
I mean, unless they might swerve us somehow, but I would agree. I think he needs it.
I think the story right now is he's got to go through Lucha, and then he's got to get Christian when Christian comes back. So I guess it depends on how long Christian is out. But either way.
Yeah.
Next,
Eddie Kingston versus Sammy Guevara.
This was good. I enjoyed it.
Excellent match. Every time I see Kingston, I'm more and more convinced of how great he is. I loved when Eddie Kingston told the ref to shut up. that was enjoyable.
There's certain guys in this company that go in that ring and it's a performance and you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like a Ray Phoenix, guys like that, guys that go in there and it's all about the moves and this and that and this and that. And then there's Chris Jericho's and Eddie Kingston's and fucking MJF's that are just like, I'm wrestling this match, but I'm also still in gimmick. And I'm not going to fucking stop. And the referee, I'm going to treat the referee that way, and I'm going to do everything the whole way.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that has been missing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Great to see, and Eddie Kingston does a great job with that. I think MJF is the one that hits the home run with that all the time, and Jericho,
absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And Moxley, fucking Mox. and Danielson.
Yeah.
When he first came in and he was a babyface getting cheered, and he's got him in the corner, he's doing that, and they're telling him to break the hold. I have till 5!
Yeah, I mean, like you're right. They you mentioned MJF and Jericho, and I think both of those guys can go. But I think the thing that I love about Kingston is I think his style is something that we just don't see anymore, at least not in AEW. And
I would agree.
He just blows me away. Like,
it's interesting because I look at Eddie Kingston and I think like if he wouldn't have got the chance to fight Cody Rhodes on that one random Dynamite, he'd be in GCW.
Yeah. And
AEW never would have looked at him. They brought him in on a whim, and then he came out and cut that promo, and Tony Khan's like, what the fuck is this? We need to sign this guy. Yes. So I think I like Eddie, and I think that's why everybody's behind him, because it's so easy. Mm-hmm. It's just like a natural thing, like, yeah, that's the fucking guy. So
I mean, and he's sort of like every man.
And I love Sammy Guevara and Tay.
Yeah.
They might be my favorite couple in wrestling. They're so fucking ridiculous and annoying.
They are, yeah.
And it's like when she was single, everybody loved her because she was single. Because that's a natural male instinct to be like, oh my god, she's single. Oh, she's amazing. I love her. Because it's like you think you have a chance with her, even though like no. And then she gets Sammy Guevara, who's like a freaking good-looking, talented, athletic guy. Lands that, and it's like, oh, fuck you. You suck. You don't need that. Everybody gets mad at him, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck you. Look what I got. And it's so perfect. It's so fucking perfect.
I mean, she turned up. I just recently watched a video where Tony Khan talked about that dynamic. And he was like, yeah, we thought, both of these guys, Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti are like baby faces. And we thought that the fans were going to love them, and we were fucking wrong, and we of course corrected. And they did such a good job course correcting, because she's flipped very quickly, and now she's got that annoying energy, and I think it's
better.
She's
great. Better. She's better than she was as a face.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just stemming on jealousy. Mm-hmm. That's all that is. That's fans being jealous. And they like to do that. I mean, that's something that's pretty common, especially in wrestling, is when we find out that somebody's dating somebody, we get mad because we're jealous. Because we get too attached to things because we're idiots.
Well, yeah. I do. My last thing about the Kingston match, it's praise for Kingston again. I want to. It's not necessarily praise, but I want to know what they're doing with his character long term, because he lost against Jericho and then sent him through the barbed wire. He won the match with Guevara, and then like I wonder if they're trying to like are they trying to hype him as this crazy unhinged lunatic, and then we crescendo at the end with, I don't know, maybe one last Jericho match and he finally wins, or maybe he fights his stablemates in Monkey and it's not his name. That's what Kingston calls him. You know, the two guys who he's friends with, or even Moxley. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even feel like that's a thing anymore because the one got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious about that too. He's one of those guys that's in a really weird spot because he's popular and he's always going to get a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the Jericho feud is done.
It could be.
And I just, where are we going with him? You know, and are we going to do something with Claudio?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could.
Like, that's feasible. Are we going to do something with Danielson? Like, what are we doing with, like, that's another question. We'll talk about it later, but like, where are we? That's a great question. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're coming up to another pay-per-view in November, and the build for that's going to start probably here pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's like, where are we going?
Hopefully we find out.
Keep going, bud. What's next?
Diamante versus Jade Cargill.
Next.
I'm getting so... Oh. I love Diamante. I know that she's not ready for the TBS title.
Do you know who Trina is?
Not really. I had to look her up.
So Trina's a fucking rap star who had a popular song in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
And she comes on the show and everybody's like, it's Trina. And I was like, who the fuck is Trina? Me and every other single person is like...
I didn't know.
Fuck, like, I'm assuming it's some old wrestler that I don't know about from some weird place. It's fucking Trina, the one that sings about No Panties was the name of her song.
Okay.
The panties coming off. You ain't gonna get up in here for free or something like that. And I'm like,
she's also apparently a reality show star. I looked it up.
Diamante is like, why are you getting a fucking title? Like, why are you getting a shot? I haven't seen you on TV in a year. What the fuck? You're still employed?
She's been on Dark. I've seen her on Dark. She's good. But
she's fine, but
I knew that she wasn't going to get it.
No,
and she brought in Trina, and I'm like, that's nice, but like, why are we... Jade Cargill's kind of in the same boat as Wardlow. But the difference is, I think Jade Cargill is stalling on her ability progress. Like, I think she's on a plateau, and I don't know how you break her from that.
I think she's at a point where people just don't give a fuck. There's no reason to care. With Wardlow, there's a reason to care. Because we got behind Wardlow really way more organically, and they did a much better job of building it as opposed to Jade just showed up, and she's like, I'm Jade. I'm good. I'm here with Shaq.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's your story. But then she wrestled. Everybody's kind of like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, she's better. And she has presence. Like, you can't deny that. She has presence.
Oh, she does, yeah.
But then she goes in the ring, and sometimes it's just like, wait, what the fuck are you doing out there? And there's no point, because it's just, she beats everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know who everybody we thought could beat her has lost decisively.
Yeah.
It's not like she's cheating. It's not anything like, it's like she just she's beaten pretty much everybody except for like, she hasn't beaten Britt.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't beaten Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And she hasn't beaten Toni Storm.
Yeah.
I think she's honestly beaten just about everybody else. Maybe not Jamie Hayter, but like everybody else, she is beaten.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I really thought Athena would be the one. And I think there was some fuckery in the Athena match, but like she's still like, I don't. Whatever.
It's bad when you lose. It's bad when you lose to somebody, and there's fuckery, and the fuckery is fucked up fuckery. Because as I recall, it was fucked up fuckery. It wasn't done well. Like there was a botched fuckery type of thing. And that's just kind of
right.
like this whole thing. I don't give two shits about that TBS title. I know what they're trying to do. And I know what they're going to fucking do. They're going to have her fight the world champion. Title versus title. The TBS title means just as much as the women's championship. Like Van Damme when he had the fucking ECW TV belt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same concept.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work. So, and she's like not... If you put her in with like on live TV with like Britt Baker would dominate her on the mic. She would absolutely shred her.
Yes.
Absolutely shred her. And that's one of the things, her delivery in like interviews is just next.
Next. Golden Ticket Battle Royal.
Obvious.
I mean, I enjoyed seeing Dalton Castle.
Danhausen was in there.
I enjoyed seeing Danhausen. He was there. It was weird seeing Brian Cage. Because he hasn't worked in the company for some time now, at least as far as I know.
To be honest, I hardly noticed them, so keep going.
Here's the one thing that bugs me about this. Why did they not, like, they didn't make any deal out of the fact that Daniel Garcia was there. And, like, that's their guy it seems like they're trying to push Daniel Garcia to be a big deal. And he was in this match, and, like, I don't even think they mentioned him until he was kicked out. Like, I didn't hear the commentary team mention him at all. And maybe I just missed it, but, like, I mean, I guess probably it's because they're putting more focus on Hangman, but then don't put Garcia in there if you don't want him to lose heat from that.
The flaw with Battle Royals and the Royal Rumble, which I love the Royal Rumble, is sometimes you have people in those that you know aren't going to fucking win.
Yeah.
Okay? When I watch the Royal Rumble and fucking R-Truth comes out, I'm happy to see him, but I know he's not going to fucking win.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, or in the early 2000s when Crash Holly came in, it was like, cool. How's he getting thrown out? You know what I mean? Or like Raven. Oh, Raven's in the match. Sweet. He's not going to win. So you honestly have like usually in a Royal Rumble, there's like 3 to 4 guys that could win.
Mm-hmm.
And this match, it was like, yeah, it's Hangman. There's like no doubt it's going to be Hangman. Because the rest of these guys are not.
He was the only one that got an entrance. The rest of them just kind of came out.
It's clearly going to be fucking Hangman. Hangman versus Mox will be good.
Yeah.
Hangman
versus MJF would be good.
Yeah, it's just whatever. It's whatever. I mean, I don't even know what else to say.
It was a system.
It was fine.
It
wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It served a purpose, and it got some people on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and it also looked like they were teasing some future matches, which was nice. Like
it's good to see. It's good. The thing about Battle Royals, we had a bunch of them for a while, as you know.
Yes, we did.
That's what happens. This shit happens out of those, and you learn things, and they're great in that regard.
Yeah.
This Battle Royal might have been better for a shot at like the TNT title or something like that, but hey, what ifs?
So our last match, the Rampage main event, was Hobbs versus Starks.
They got more time, but I wish they would have got more.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. I just it was a great match, well done.
Starks won, which I think needed to happen.
Which was good. And I think they're both gonna benefit from that match, much in the same way that Britt and Thunder Rosa benefited from their lights out match. Maybe Starks more than Hobbs, but I think it was a good match.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I just thought they should have had more time, and I thought it was fine.
Yes,
I like those guys. Like I like what those guys are, and those are 2 guys that have really busted their ass for a year. So to see them get that spot was good.
Mm-hmm.
So I like you. Yeah, I guess that's my opinion of Rampage too. Is it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was there. It was not necessarily. It wasn't that great. Let's go to Dynamite.
I think it was like. Well, I think the last part was. I think it was a timing issue. It sort of seemed like it. It sort of seemed like maybe they were going to give him more time. But anyway, match 1, Dynamite, Grand Slam. The Wizard, Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli.
Loved it. Fucking loved it.
It was a great match.
I love the part where they had the guy on the outside and Jericho pushed him over and that fucker was legitimately mad. And I don't think that was planned. And Jericho was just like sitting there, and that fucker so pissed. Then he just gets up and casually walks past the camera, like he looks like he's lost. I was like, fuck yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's good for Ring of Honor. Because I think if you're gonna get a TV show and you say Chris Jericho's our champion, it's gonna be a lot easier than Claudio.
I'll give you that.
You get on TV and then you put the belt back on Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I hope they get a Ring of Honor show because that would help.
I was I don't know. I was annoyed sort of that they gave it to Jericho because I think Claudio's a solid champion.
Right.
But and it sort of felt like they were just trying to sell some Ocho shirts. But I get what you're saying about the TV show. I think you're right.
I think the other part of it is they're really trying to make a push to get an ROH TV show, and with a guy like Chris Jericho, it's gonna be a lot easier.
Yes.
Than that's their champion.
Yes.
But the problem is they'll say he's a champion, they'll put him on for like a week or 2 weeks, and then he'll lose the belt, and he'll never fucking show up again. So, yeah.
So then we had Keith Lee and Swerve versus the Acclaimed.
Scissor me, daddy. I was so stoked they won. Fucking stoked.
Match was amazing. The finish was amazing.
I don't think this match was as good as a pay-per-view match. The crowd I thought was hotter. And when they fucking I was like 97%. I'm so conditioned for WWE where they never do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And when fucking Billy Gunn hit that fucking famouser and rolled him in the ring, I was just like, that place went so fucking crazy when they got that 3 count. This was an awesome moment. This made you smile.
Yes.
It was just like homegrown AEW. Fucking awesome. They are so over. Now, let's not fuck this up. Because I have an opinion, and my opinion is they're holding those belts to November and they're losing them.
2?
FTR.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
And then they can go back into chase mode. But FTR, and you can't argue. Like, I'm stoked for the Acclaim, but FTR is they're so incredible. They just need to have those belts.
I would love to see them have a few matches with the Ass Boys first, with the titles on the line.
I would too. I think that'd be. I think that would elevate them all. Losing the Bucks has been interesting because, and especially when they went trios. Like, there's some teams that are now getting a shot that wouldn't have got a shot. But like the Varsity Blondes, what the fuck are we doing? Let's do something with them and let's get them because they're good.
Yeah.
Like they're good. I mean, they're generic in a way, and if you could find a way to like up their personalities a little bit, that'd be great. But like they need to do something. Bear Country.
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of chilling down there. Are we gonna do anything with them? Or are they just waiting to go up to the E, you know?
It could be. I don't know. Yeah, I mean they got some tags, but they're not doing a lot with, because I think they relied on, I think you're right, I think they relied on the Bucks a lot.
Well, them and FTR.
And FTR.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. But then you still need to bring up those other guys. And they were relying on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for a while.
And they were relying on Phoenix and...
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But what was next, bud?
We had the MJF Yuta segment.
I loved it.
Which was fun.
MJF is the fucking best.
I hope. So the reason I love this most was that I think they're trying to... Because Yuta is cool. Yuta is good. But I think by having those two face off a little bit, you're bringing up Yuta a little bit while you're bringing up MJF. Like, MJF's already there. He's going to get to the world title. Let's bring up some other guys along the way.
I think you're going to see an MJF Yuta match is like a Dynamite or Rampage main event. I don't think that'll be bad. I like that, though. I like the Tony Schiavone thing where he got knocked over and shit. MJF's just... Sometimes you're on fire and it don't matter. And that's MJF right now. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. It's
true.
He could take a shit in the ring and we cheer for him.
Which Tony Schiavone is not happy with. So the next match was Pac versus Cassidy.
Here we go.
Yeah, I
Here
know.
we go,
I
bud.
know you didn't care for this match. So
I didn't say that. The match was fine, and they
Yes.
have great chemistry, and they put on a good match.
Mhm.
I'm tired of seeing the same fucking match with the same fucking result.
Okay, but
No, I know what you're gonna say. He had to cheat to win. They're building him up slowly. Blah blah blah. Yeah, cool, great. Don't care.
so okay, but I'm gonna make my thing anyway because I
Yeah,
think
I expect that.
I think they had a lot of pops in that match, and I think they were hindered by the fact that they just got off. Like the crowd going in was very cool on this match, and I think that's in part because they had just witnessed 2 title changes, right? Like big title changes, and that's exhausting. But on top of that, as you've said, like we've seen this match 100 times, so like it's hard to get behind it.
We just saw it 2 weeks ago for the trios title, and it had the same outcome. And Orange Cassidy never beats Pac. And okay, granted, Pac cheated. Now, well, if he has to cheat to beat, well, I don't care. The story's not there. It's done for me. I just don't want to see it. Like,
I think they're building it. I think
that's fine, but I'm tired of it, and I don't care about it anymore.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. Because I think there's a lot of people who are just like, cool. Like, you have this guy that's super over, but he constantly loses to this other guy that's a good wrestler and is over. Okay, I'm gonna say something and might not agree with me, but I'm gonna fucking say it anyways. Orange Cassidy is more over than Pac.
I would agree with you on that.
And you can't constantly. You're not bringing Pac up anymore. You're bringing Orange Cassidy down.
That last part I disagree with, because I think you have this dynamic between these two where Pac is in a lot of ways OC's biggest critic. Like he's constant, like he gets this a lot. Orange Cassidy gets this a lot, but I think Pac is constantly saying you're lazy and you suck and I hate you. And like like both of them are getting better. Orange Cassidy is starting to catch up to him. And you see this match where he has to, like Pac has to cheat to beat Orange Cassidy, and that's a big deal. Now maybe if your argument is that they shouldn't have stretched it out this long, perhaps like that's possible.
I don't know how many.
But I see when you like, I see.
And then when he finally gets his win, you can be like, "Oh, I finally beat you," and then it'll be like, "Oh, yeah, well, I beat you 48 times in a row, so you beat me once. Good for you."
Yeah, but they've done that story a lot of times, and the fans get behind that final win. Tommy Dreamer and Raven come to mind right off the bat. But like they've even done it a little bit with Daniel Bryanson and Diane Branielson. I know I'm saying his name wrong.
Tommy Dreamer and Raven had heat, and they had way more going on. This doesn't have more going on. This is one guy coming to the other saying, "You suck. You're not as good as me," and then he beats him. And they have a trios match where, like, seriously, if they would have won that trios match, this match would have made more sense to me. They lost the trios match. Like, you just you lost to me again. But now I'm going to punch you in the face because I want to fight you? Okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to beat you because that's what I always do. Okay, I beat you. And the crowd's like, oh, cool.
I don't think that the crowd was as cold on this match as you think they were. Like, they got a lot of pops on this match.
When the bell rang at the end of the match, it was pretty fucking cold. The match itself had moments, and it was a great match. Like, I said that from the get-go. I said,
yes, of course.
Amazing fucking chemistry. They do some amazing shit. It's just, when you keep feeding me the same match just to have a good match, and you're not doing anything else with it, because that's how it feels. It feels like you're not doing anything with it. Granted, what you just said, fine, whatever, but it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but he lost to him here, and then here, and then here, and then a trios match, then he lost his tag match, then he lost his other trios match, and then he lost this, then he lost that, then he lost this, then he lost that. It's like, okay, cool. Sometimes that shit works, but this is one of those times where it's not working. I don't care.
I disagree.
I don't care. Like, I literally, and I'm the biggest Orange Cassidy mark there is, And everything they do with him I love, but it's like, this is just great. Cool. Pac needs a win, I guess. He's fighting Orange Cassidy. Cool.
I don't agree with that in particular. I don't think that's what I don't think they're trying to bring up Pac. I think they're trying to bring up OC by presenting him with a big challenge.
My worry is that they realize how over he is and that he's going to get a reaction no matter what. And they don't think things through, and they're like, well, if we put him with him, he can lose to him, and then eventually down the line we'll do this. But like, you can only drag this out for so long.
Yeah, maybe.
Because at some point you're just a fucking loser. And that's kind of where, he gets all these title shots, and it's always like he decisively gets beat for all these title matches. It's like, okay, then why is he even going for a title? He doesn't necessarily need a title.
Okay, but that's a different thing, though. That's his title match, like his title. Like, I would agree that I think that the way that they're pushing Orange Cassidy in general is weird.
Yeah.
It's sort of like hot and cold. Like he was hot for a while, and now he's sort of cooled off.
Yeah.
And I don't, in that particular case, like I don't understand why they put him up against Pac.
When his momentum gets cold, that correlates with a Pac match every fucking time.
I disagree with that.
I just don't understand how you can logically justify him going 2-1 against Chris Jericho, but he can't beat Pac.
I don't know.
Because Chris Jericho is a much bigger star than Pac. No offense to Pac. I don't dislike Pac. This is going to come off as Pac hate. It's not Pac hate. Because I like Pac. I like what Pac's doing. I think he's fucking amazing. And just like the trios titles, those three are fucking incredible. They're going to have great matches with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
My argument for that was just, you can't constantly put these guys in these matches, and when it's a big match, they fucking lose. Because then they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to win. Just like this match, I knew it was going to happen. I knew the ending before the ending even fucking happened. And you can argue, well, they did something different. Well, fine, but he still fucking lost. He never beats Pac. And it doesn't matter if it's tag, trio. They could have an 8-man, and he could be with like fucking the ghost of fucking Larry Zbyszko. He's not dead. Of the ghost of Bruno Sammartino, Andre the Giant, fucking Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior. He could have the biggest team ever. He could fight Pac and like, I don't know, 7 of the fucking guys that were out there with Evil Uno back in the day, and somehow Pac would get the fucking win. That's how they're booking it, and it's just like, it's not working for me.
Okay.
That's how I feel. It was a good match. Trios match was a good match. Pac is a good champion. Pac's an incredible fucking wrestler. I don't dislike Pac. I dislike the way this has been booked. I would much have preferred Orange Cassidy to have nothing to do with this match.
Yeah.
Just do something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you there. Like, I don't understand why they're putting them together if they're not going to progress the story.
It's just like when Wardlow won the fucking TV championship and fought Orange Cassidy. Why are you doing that? That's stupid.
Yeah, because we know it's how it's going to end.
Momentum. Like, you don't need to do that, but that's what they do. So, no.
They don't get him. They don't understand him, Town. We're going to move on to the next match.
They do, that's the problem. But yeah.
What's the problem?
They do understand him, that's the problem. They're just kind of abusing the situation.
Yeah.
Next match.
Baker versus Deeb versus Athena versus Storm.
This felt like a clusterfuck.
Yeah?
It wasn't bad. But it felt like a clusterfuck, and they keep pinning Baker. And they keep pinning her in really fucking bizarre ways. This match clearly only had 1 point. And the point of this match was to bring Hayter back and set up a 3-versus-3 match with Saraya. And when she came out, I was stunned.
Yeah. That was...
it was fucking amazing. It was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see her. And this match wasn't bad, and like I said, I'm fine. I didn't think Britt Baker should have won this match. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like keep pinning her, and it's like, again, it's like, why?
We didn't have to have, unless they're trying to tell the story that Baker can't win without Jamie Hayter, but we already know that's not true.
That's the problem, because she won the belt fair and square from Shida. She didn't even cheat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, yeah, it was interesting, but it really was just to set up they're obviously going to do a 3 versus 3. And I'm assuming they'll do that at the pay-per-view, which would be great because Soraya, awesome. That was fucking amazing. The pop she got, that was one of the bigger returns. That might be up in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was pretty fucking amazing. It was sweet. And everybody's excited to see her wrestle because she's good. Hopefully she doesn't get fucking hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's the concern.
But-
So the next thing was the Darby body bag segment.
I loved it, actually.
It was like silly.
That was so stupid.
And it was totally, what I wrote down was kind of silly, totally Darby though. Like it's totally fit him.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what they were trying to do with that segment, but I loved the segment. It was a good segment.
That's the thing about him though. They have those segments like that with him where it's just like, you're riding the fucking subway with that thing. Get off of me! You know, it's just like, it was great. Darby is great. I just hope they do something with him.
Yeah. Keep him relevant.
So we gotta do.
Match 5 was Jonathan Moxlington versus Diane Branielson.
Great match.
Can I say something that might be controversial?
I'd love to hear it.
I was kind of bored. It was a good match. Hard hitting. I wrote hard hitting, quick, savage, but it kind of feels like I've seen this match 100 times. And maybe that's not fair, but like it feels that way. And there was a point where it started to pick up. Like I got about halfway through and they were starting to hit bizarre pops or spots. And I was like, cool.
It's really... I think this is just a symptom of how they took the belt away from Punk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if this match had made sense and they had booked it with a logical, sensible thing, Bryan Danielson would have won.
Yeah.
Because that's the story. I lose to somebody, I fight him again, and I win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But this is a placeholder championship right now. Because in November, MJF is the world champion. You know that, I know that, everybody fucking knows that. Why would you give Danielson his first title to be a fucking... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Moxley has...
Yeah.
He has more clout and losing for him. Like he has it's 3 times champion right at this point.
And I think that Moxley versus MJF makes more sense than Danielson against MJF in a way. So I understand it. But the match itself wasn't bad, but you're right.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of... The Blackpool Combat Club has a style of match they do, and every one of them does it. And it's very similar, and it's what they did in the first match, and it's what they do in every match, because now even Wheeler Yuta does it, and Claudio does it, and these two guys do it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
The ending was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm curious what they're doing with Danielson. And I guess the reality of the situation is that Moxley was supposed to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Moxley's going to be gone in November. I'm sure he's going to take like November to January off now.
Yeah, probably. It's good.
But yeah, good for him. He's saving their ass right now though.
Yes.
In a big way. So I mean, it's weird, and I think it's just a symptom of everything that happened. I honestly think that's what it is. I don't know what else you do.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give Danielson that belt and have him lose to fucking MJF right away. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's you have to give MJF that belt.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if Punk would have kept it and lost the belt to MJF in November, that would have been fucking amazing. Like we're missing out on that.
But alas.
So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see I'm curious what they're gonna do with Danielson. You know, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do if the Elite come back.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're gonna get Omega versus Danielson.
That could be good. I would be okay with that. Yeah.
Part 2, you know, and really let them go on a pay-per-view. So there's options. So I guess that was kind of my feeling on that one. They had a timing issue on this. Because at the end, right as the show cut, Bryan ripped the belt out of Regal's hands, and you're like, wait, what? And then the sword's doing up here. He put it around Mox's waist. I saw the video of that, but it's like that would have been a good thing to get on TV. So, it was good. I mean, it was a good match. Those two aren't going to have a bad match, but you're right. It was just kind of
it's samey. Yeah, the whole like they have everybody in the Blackpool Combat Club has like those 3 moves that they all do, and I don't understand that. I mean, I guess I get it to some extent. Like they're sort of trying to like feed this idea that these guys are all getting trained the same way, and they're all getting trained by William Regal and Mox and Danielson. But like it's cool that Claudio has his own like spin on those things, but I don't know. I guess it's interesting, and I just don't necessarily understand it in this moment.
This show also had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened up with this hot match, and then it was followed by a hot match, and then it got flat.
Yeah.
And Saraya picked it up. And the Cassidy Pac match was flat. And the women's match was flat. They were kind of flat. They were flat matches. Not that they were bad, because, like I said, the Pac Cassidy match was amazing. But the ending was flat, and then the next match was flat, and then the ending of that was super flat. Like Britt Baker randomly gets rolled up, and then Saraya comes out, everything picks up. But it only picked up so much, so you're still really, everything's just flat. So you're coming out to a flat crowd because they gave everything they had. That tag team match took everything out of that crowd.
Yeah.
And then you come to this world title match, and it's like, okay, we got to pick it up. And it was like this, it was a slow build, which is what you need in those long matches. But it was hard to just kind of rein that in. And by the end, like you said, they started doing some different stuff. And it was good. And the ending was interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the way they did the Death Rider on the, or whatever the hell it's called. That's Death Rider, right?
Death Rider, yeah.
That's what I thought they called it. I thought that's what it was.
It's like the second one he did or whatever.
Did it on the ramp, which was kind of cool.
That's right, yeah.
And he caught him in that choke, and then he went for the thing, and then he managed to keep it on. Like, it was a good ending. It wasn't a bad match, you know. And it made it, like, Danielson didn't look bad. It looked like he wasn't going to quit, and he just got caught, you know. So at some point, they're going to have Danielson beat him, but that's neither here nor there.
Not today.
I don't know. You're right. It was, I don't know. It was a weird show.
Yeah. I wonder if, do you know if they tape Rampage first? Because I feel like...
No, they tape Rampage after.
Okay.
Because Rampage comes after chronologically, so they don't want to spoil anything they're doing.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm imagining they take like a little bit of a break and they bring out the Rampage shit. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a good show. I think the right guy won the belt. Like I said, we talked about that. Where they're gonna go is gonna be interesting. Clearly, we're moving right into Hangman and Mox, which I don't know if we've seen before, have we? I feel like we haven't. So that'll be good. That'll be something new. They can put a little bit into that. Because Hangman honestly feels like losing the Elite there. It hasn't been good for him, because now, like, what the fuck is he doing now? You know?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, like, what are they gonna do with Danielson? You know, because he's gonna have to have something good at the pay-per-view, and he finally beat Jericho. So that's done. Like, where are we going with him? Where are we going with Jericho?
I also think you're asking these questions.
We're still not done with the Garcia thing.
Yeah, you're asking these questions, and I think we had these same questions at All Out. I think we're like, what are we going to do with this guy?
It was damn near close to a hard reset on this company when they lost everything they lost.
Yeah,
those were 4 of their biggest guys, and they had to reset 2 of their big belts. They put all this fucking time into those trios belts, and now we don't even fucking see them. It's like, oh my god, what the fuck? They had such a good tournament with all these amazing fucking matches. And then I want to know if the Elite comes back, do they get a shot right away, and do you just put them right back on him?
I mean, that might make sense. Maybe that's why they gave it to Death Triangle.
Well, if
I think
you were putting Kenny Omega with Orange Cassidy in that match. You
don't have a chip on your shoulder or anything about this, do you?
Oh, I'm so tired of it. the shit you can do with this guy. This guy's so unique and so different, and it's just like
The difference between you and me is that you have seen all of those matches. I have not, and so I've
been here since the start with AEW. I've seen the growth.
Yeah,
I've seen the growth of Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was a joke guy that was fucking cool, that did these amazing moves, and then you started to realize like, oh, you can actually have a match. Then it was, holy fuck, this guy's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and has like a 5-star match at Forbidden Door, and you're like, whoa,
yeah,
this fucker's really good. And then he loses to Pac. And then 2 times, like back-to-back weeks.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fuck. So it's hard, and it's hard because like you watch WWE and you see these guys that you want to get a push,
mm-hmm.
and they're really good, and then they fucking keep pulling the rug out from underneath them. This is how I feel right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It really, really is. And I get it. They're not doing the same thing, and they're trying to build, but it's just like,
if you pull the rug out from the fans enough times, they're gonna care less about it. I mean, WWE has demonstrated that hundreds of times.
And right now, I care less.
And maybe this is one too many times. You could be right.
Yeah, you gotta not. At the same time, why the fuck would you give him that belt to begin with? Like, I guess that's my main issue with this, was like, why is he fighting for this belt?
Yeah.
Like, he should not have that belt. If it was like the TNT belt or something, yeah, fine, but like, we're gonna give him the All Atlantic with a Japanese flag on it, which still has me befuddled. But like, why are we gonna give him that? Because like, Pac's going around the world defending it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna give it to, like, Orange Cassidy's not gonna get it. They're not gonna send him to fucking Europe. It's like not. It didn't make sense. The whole booking of it doesn't make sense. That's why I said they're trying to find a good opponent for him, pop a rating on TV, and to like put a good match on TV, mm-hmm. with no real thought put into it. It's like, oh, he has good matches with Cassidy. Let's just put those two together. Okay, but you don't, like, there's long-term shit you're not hitting here. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I still think that Best Friends should have won the trios belts, and nothing will change my mind on that.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I like, of those, I sort of swung back to that. I really loved Death Triangle. I love all 3 of those guys, but I think you're right. I think Best Friends they're kind of stale right now. And putting the belts on them would not all 3 of them. I think Orange Cassidy is still on top, but like,
I don't think stale is the word. I think the word is like, they're not stale. This is where they are, and this is their spot. Mm-hmm. This is who they can beat. This is who they can't beat, and they never. Because you go into a match with them and you know if they're going to win.
Yeah.
Every single time, like, oh yeah, they're going to beat. Oh, they're not beating these guys. Oh, they're going to beat these, and you're always right. So you have to fight, like, I don't know. And I just think giving those guys the belt would have been good just for something new for that TV show, because it would put those guys on there, feature them a little more. Because like, Orange Cassidy's featured, but those other 2 guys always aren't.
Yeah.
And now that's the other thing. Now is they're going to come back and we're randomly going to stick them with. They're going to have some weird feud with like some other weird trio that's just randomly hodgepodge together that they'll beat in like 5 minutes on an episode of Rampage that nobody gives a shit about. Because they love doing that too.
They do, yeah.
That's a move. We'll put Orange Cassidy in the main event. We'll have him beat somebody that he would never lose to, and just go. And then we'll randomly have him lose to Jay Lethal. Still mad about that one too. That one made more sense though, for what they were doing at the time, because they were trying to get Jay Lethal with Wardlow.
Yeah.
But like, this one is just like, okay. That match was made it super flat. Like, that show was just flat after that. It's hard to come back. I can
understand.
Those 2 big matches at the beginning was a lot.
Yeah.
And they were incredible, and incredible shit happened. And then you have this match where it's like, oh wow, the same thing you did every other time, and then followed by a women's 4-way where it's like, oh wow.
They literally did a 4-way, like, what, last week or the week before?
The pay-per-view, wasn't it at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, it was the pay-per-view, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
You just like swapped out one person or 2 people, like.
Yeah, because somebody got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. It was just like, yeah, there's a weird layout of matches. If you would have put Pac and Orange Cassidy before the tag team match, maybe that would have been better.
Yeah.
But like, they didn't want the tag team match close to the main event.
Which was stupid. Like they
that
should.
zapped the crowd. You put it's hard. That's the problem on a TV show when you jam all that shit in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always do that. That's why it's a special. But I don't know. It was okay. It was good. I enjoyed the show. I thought the show overall was good. It popped a pretty good rating.
Yeah.
The main event was good. You're right. It was a little, what are you saying this? But then it picked up at the end. So I thought it was creative end. MJF needs a belt. Best match of the night between the two shows. What was your favorite?
I think the Acclaimed.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I enjoyed. Now I don't even remember. I'm just gonna say the Acclaimed.
Least favorite
one
match?
that popped.
Least favorite match? Jade Cargill.
I can't even say that was my least favorite because I like.
It's hard to hate something you don't even care about.
I don't care that much about it.
No, it's just like, okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw them come out and I immediately did something else and paid no attention to the match. And I saw the ending. I was like, oh wow, I can't believe that happened.
I would say probably Ward Joe versus Josh Woods and Tony Nese. It was fine, but it was.
That's the problem though with the balance of these cards they do when they do it over 2 nights is Rampage always gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because you have the matches on there, and then it's just like I don't know. The feel's not the same.
I think Grand Slam last year was better because I think that was the first. It was like the first couple of weeks that they had Punk, and I think they did Punk versus Hobbs at Grand Slam. I don't remember exactly.
They did.
And so I think,
and they also did Hangman against Archer in a Texas Bull Roll.
That's right. Yeah.
So they put some in. Sometimes they're so weird with Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's nothing, and sometimes it's like, wow, this show's amazing. You just never know what the hell you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Best Rampage ever though will be the night Punk debuted.
Yeah.
There's nothing will touch that. God, that was a year ago, bud.
That was a year ago.
Look where more than a year ago. Look where the fuck we are now. What the fuck happened?
Oh, so Punk is gonna stay.
I don't know. I still don't think he's leaving, but we'll see.
We shall see.
Maybe I should cut a promo on Leon, and then maybe he'll show up.
Maybe he'll come to your house and throw a chair at you. All right, we're sending it home, town.
Take it home, bud.
All right. This has been the BREWDCAST. We were just talking about Grand Slam. Did you miss it? I hope not. But if you did, you can rewind it because this is fucking YouTube. I am Bud Robinson. This has been Town Historian. So long, everybody.
We're going home.
Yeah, we are.